This is the Shuttlepod I created. And this is the Shuttle Bay I spent the last few months bringing to life. Welcome back. Today I'm taking you behind the scenes of one of my most ambitious builds yet, a fully realized Shuttle Bay 3 playset inspired by Star Trek: The Next Generation. Seen in episodes like Cause and Effect, The Next Phase, and Power Play, Shuttle Bay 3 always felt like it deserved its own toy treatment. Since it never existed when I was a kid, I decided to make it myself. I started with a masking tape site plan on my cutting board, my full-scale blueprint for Shuttle Bay 3. It allows me to test where the Pike Shuttle Bay would land, the cargo doors would open, and the control booth would oversee the action. A simple dry run, but one that saves time, filament, and a lot of guesswork. I started with the foundation, the Shuttle Bay floor. The deck is built from 7 interlocking panels that form the launch platform. Along the way, there were warps, layer shifts, and failed prints, all part of the process. I wanted that clean but used industrial look, the kind of floor you'd expect to see dozens of shuttle touchdowns on. From there, I moved to the walls. This isn't a static diorama. It's built to be handled and played with. I engineered a peg and slot connection system so everything could be assembled, disassembled, and rearranged. Some joints were so snug, I had to sand them by hand, a tedious but worthwhile step. The control booth was always going to be the centerpiece of the upper deck. I designed a slot for interchangeable LCARS panels, printed graphics mounted to removable inserts. But then I thought to myself, what if it wasn't just static? So I widened the slot and shaped the interior frame to fit a standard iPhone. With a looping animation, the booth comes alive, a fully animated control interface. Next, I turn my attention to the shuttle itself, the Pike. The Pike Shuttlepod is based on the Type 15 design, compact, no warp drive, but built for short-range transport and EVA missions. These pods were used frequently across TNG and DS9, and they have a stubby, angular look that makes them stand out from the more streamlined shuttles. I took inspiration from its appearance in episodes like The Most Toys, where Data is kidnapped while piloting one. I learned that the interior layout was incredibly simple, just 2 seats, a dash, and minimal sidewalls. That made it ideal to model and print. I started with the hull and structure, shaping the fuselage to get the overall dimensions right. I emphasized the slanted nose, the flat roof panels, and the cutaway back end where the engines attach. Then came the signature gull-wing doors. These were tricky. They needed to open smoothly, hinge cleanly, and align perfectly when shut. No easy feat. I iterated the hinge design over several versions, testing the fit over and over until I landed on a system that worked. I made sure the doors were thick enough to withstand use, but still in scale with the Playmates action figures. Getting the geometry correct so the door wouldn't bind on the fuselage edge was a whole challenge on its own. Inside the Pike, I kept the layout true to the show. 2 removable swivel chairs allow for seated figures to fit into place. The dashboard features a flight control console with decals, and the back wall has a secondary monitor for mission briefings or sensory readings. I studied screenshots to match the placement of the button clusters and color palettes. That pop of LCARS blue and orange really stands out against the neutral interior colors. One detail I really wanted to include was the aft compartment. The rear hatch opens and reveals a storage bay with 8 tiny cylindrical canisters, each tucked into its own cradle. I like to imagine they're carrying hydraulium or medical supplies depending on the mission. The cargo hatch locks into place when closed, keeping the contents secure during play or posing. And of course I couldn't forget the impulse nacelles. Beneath the shuttle I added layered exhaust grills, a couple removable access panels, and a snap-on undercarriage. I printed the engine access cover as a separate part so it could be removed for pretend repairs, a fun little bonus for storytelling. I modeled a cargo transporter console, matching the look and proportions of the TNG prop. I created the barrels that caused Worf's injury in Ethics. I modeled the barrels so they could stack or tip, depending on how I wanted to create my favorite cargo bay accident. I also included a large cargo transporter, which I set up to accommodate an LED light to simulate that iconic shimmering transporter effect. After all that, I staged everything for full assembly. Seeing the double-deck layout rise, with the shuttle docked, the figures in place, and the light catching the LCARS display, it's hard to describe how satisfying that moment is. Everything clips together like a working puzzle. I spent time posing the crew to bring the space to life. Small staging choices are what make the environment feel alive. Because the build is modular, I'm already thinking about future expansions. Thanks for coming along on this journey. If you enjoyed this build, please like, subscribe, and let me know which environments you'd like to see next. And as always, live long and play on.